Welcome to the POSTCAST. This is actually take two. My first one disappeared into the Never Never Lands. Yeah. Jazz fall to the Clippers. They win their 17th straight, 107-96. We do have to tell a story before we start.
Okay.
So, as we close the broadcast, I was saying Happy New Year to Travis Rust. And Travis deserves a lot of credit. He's the behind-the-scenes guy who controls the broadcast. And just from my standpoint, really, like, that's my security blanket. That's my blankie, is Travis, because I know everything's all right if Travis is there, and I just don't worry about anything with Travis. So he's fabulous and controls our sound and everything that goes out. And he's a fabulous young man. To give you a little background, he's a nice return missionary, good kid, just had a kid. And I said to him, hey, now you be good on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
With a little tongue-in-cheek, in jest. And I said, Travis, I know the truth about you Mormons. I was joking, but I'm going to share exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And I said to Travis, I said, I know the truth. I mean, it's not Shirley Temples on New Year's Eve for you. It's Kamikazes and all that other stuff. And I kind of pounded a little bit on that. And I said to Travis, do you know what a kamikaze is? And he said, sure, I watch television. So I said, Travis, we're not talking about fighter planes in Pearl Harbor. We're not.
That is so funny.
It's so good. But we love Travis. So Happy New Year to y'all. Don't drink too many kamikazes. Stick to the Shirley Temples.
Yeah.
Jazz fall tonight, 107-96. I did think, Ron, that this was a better performance by the Jazz. That stretch starting in Phoenix where things have kind of come off the rails a little bit, and the blowout losses in Indiana and Miami, and Miami's great. But in the last two nights, I feel as though some progress has been made. That this team is playing a little bit better than it was before, and it happened to run into a team that's now won 17 straight, and so it's going to be awfully hard to walk away with a W. But I thought they played well enough. For the most part, you can still find some things that need to get better in both these games, but they probably would have won many of them against other teams.
I think if Coach Corbin looks at the film, I mean, he can take away a lot of things here off of this basketball game. And one in particular is that, how hard they were able to fight. Get back in the basketball game, took a lead for once. Well, they had a 4-point lead at one time, but and they took the lead there in the third quarter after being down as many as 13. They were able to fight back and get the job done. And again, the Jazz right now lacking in certain areas, and right now that is the point guard position. You mentioned about the assist that Earl Watson and Tinsley had, which is great. Set guys up. Jazz still only end up shooting 41% there from the field. So it's something that has to be improved, and not so much one-on-one basketball, but executing and getting good shots.
In the previous two games, the Jazz had come in with one more turnover than assists by Jamal Tinsley and Earl Watson combined since Mo Williams. Now, tonight it was more in their favor, 16 assists and 6 turnovers. The only bad side is these guys shot 3 of 10 tonight, and if I have it right, that means they are 4 of 18 combined in 3 games without Mo Williams. And the amount of times we saw tonight the offense have ball go in the post, swing out, and the ball goes to the point guard with room to make a play, whether it's to shoot or to drive or to do something, was enormous. And that's where if Mo Williams is there, I'm actually not sure that that same room would be there. What that really tells you is that the other teams are setting up a defense that's basically saying, go ahead, Earl. Yeah. Go ahead, Jamal. You guys try to make plays because we don't think you're going to do it. And that's how at least tonight they were a little better with 16 assists. But the 3 of 10 shooting out of that spot's a little tough.
Well, it's obvious that they have a defensive scheme, the things that they would like to do defensively. And if we want to go and watch Al, the way they defended him. I mean, they were double-teaming Al, but they wanted to do it from the baseline, which means they wanted to take away the middle of the floor and force him back baseline, but that's where the help was coming from. Blake Griffin was the one that was there. And then the defense, how they wanted to help out, from the backside, they were just going to leave Tinsley and Watson all along, and Chris Paul does a great job of protecting certain areas, but he's good at retreating and getting out to their man. They did not work that hard on trying to defend those guys.
Jazz were without Marvin Williams tonight. Caron Butler ended up lighting the Jazz up for 29 points. He scored 27 of those 29 he scored all 29 of those in the first and third quarters. He scored 27 of those 29, if I'm correct, on Damari Carroll. And Damari plays a balancing act of the game. We love his energy. We love his tenacity. But when he plays with the first unit, the Jazz are now 0-4 in games when he starts. I'm not sure he can play that same way, because when he's gambling and trying to make the plays he does in a second unit, he's doing it against a guy like Caron Butler, who if you leave him open, he's going to bury it. If you're doing that at most teams' second team, you probably can get away with it because they don't make that shot. But as a starter, I'm not sure he can play that same way.
I mean, that is great. But why? Because DeMarre Carroll does gamble a lot. I mean, you get a rebound, he's going to try to come up from behind you, deflect the basketball. Lots of times he can sprint back down the floor and get into position, but you know, you're playing against Chris Paul, you know, and a lot of times he's going to make you pay for that.
Al Jefferson was pretty terrific tonight. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks, 34 minutes of work. Really got this team going, carried them back with a fab 13-point third quarter tonight. This team needed Al Jefferson to play well. The numbers were kind of stunning over the last 8 games. They've been outscored by more than 100 points when he was on the floor. Tonight was a very different. That's the Al that needed to return to the floor for the Jazz.
Al, 22 shots tonight, you know, and I agree with you. He definitely needs to play well in order for the Jazz.
That's Ron just waving hi to
Well,
admirers.
she's been this
admirers.
Usher lady. She's Evelyn. She's been with since I played. Back
really?
in the Lakers, yeah. I mean, she was in the
She's
forum.
the Wally of...
She runs this place, all the ushers and all that kind of stuff.
She's the Wally of the state of L.A. arenas?
Well, no, she works. Wally does work, yeah. But she's been around a long time. Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Jazz lose at 107-96. You guys debate amongst yourself. Ron and I have been discussing this, whether Chris Paul is better than Kevin Durant. All right, let me ask you this. We disband the NBA. We start a new league, and you have the second pick of the draft.
I'm taking Kevin Durant.
Second pick of the draft. LeBron is gone.
Yes, I'm taking Kevin Durant, not Chris Paul.
And you only play for 1 season.
David, I'm taking Kevin Durant.
You might be right.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'll meet you at the tetherball court.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everybody.